12% of every thought you're going to have today is going to be a comparison. That's a stat from social comparison research. It's a simple fact, nothing you can do about it. So there's no point in trying to stop comparison. The question never was how you can stop comparing yourself to other people, because you can't. It's evolutionary, it's wired into our brains. So the real question is whether you're comparing yourself in the one way that is building you or in one of the two ways that are quietly destroying you. So today I'm going to be breaking down all three types so you can transform comparison from your biggest weakness into one of your greatest strengths. You can't stop comparison out of willpower. Comparison is a survival code. Back in tribal days, your value to a group was determined by how much you contributed or where you ranked. And if you added nothing to the group, it wasn't embarrassing, it was dangerous. Get pushed out of the group, you die. And so our brains built a system that can detect where you stand in different groups. But that system never got the update that nowadays not everything is a life or death situation, so our nervous system still treats it like it is. And now you're not comparing yourself to 30 people in a village, you're comparing yourself to millions of curated reels and people who control exactly what you see. You see the best 5 seconds of someone's life, and then you compare it against your worst. That's not a fair fight, and it was never supposed to be. Because we have to understand that comparison is unavoidable, it's hardwired into our system. So the goal was never going to be elimination, it was going to be redirection. There are three types of comparison, but only one of them is actually helpful. The first type, and probably the most common one, is upward comparison. This is when you see somebody who has more than you or you think is better than you in some way, and you immediately get jealous and envious, and your thoughts start telling you that you're never gonna have that or you're never gonna be as good as them. Then there's second, downward comparison. This is when you see somebody who has less than you or you think is worse than you, and it turns into arrogancy and superiority as well as an inflated ego, making you think that you are better than everybody else. Then there's the third type, the actually healthy one, horizontal comparison. This is where you stop seeing people as above or below you on a ladder and you start seeing them as somebody who is on the same level as you, just on a completely different path. And this is where it stops being threatening when someone's in a competition with you and it starts becoming motivating and inspiring. The shift from vertical to horizontal isn't quick, but it's not as hard as it seems. And the magic word here is connection. The more real relationships you build, the easier it gets to stop putting people on a pedestal. Because you see them fail, you see the mistakes, you see the mess behind the facade. And suddenly you have to realize that not everybody's gonna be perfect. And you can finally stop feeling threatened by the competition and you can finally start seeing it as inspiration and motivation. How can you redirect comparison? Step one, audit your inputs. Because you cannot fix your mindset while you're still feeding it the same triggers. Go through your social media followings right now, and anybody who makes you feel behind or stuck or just in general bad, unfollow them or block them. Because this is not about escaping reality or just not wanting to accept it, because social media is most definitely not reality. It's about eliminating the things that actually started your comparison so you can end the negative part of it. Step two, run the swap test. Next time you feel like you're comparing yourself to somebody, ask yourself this: would I trade my entire life for everything they're going through? Their history, their struggles, their private issues, not just the good things we usually see. And this question alone kills about 80% of all comparison spirals because it makes you see the full picture and it makes you realize that the grass isn't always greener on the other side, even if we like to think so. Step 3, study strategy, not lifestyle. Stop comparing vacations, cars, and clothes. That's literally gonna get you nowhere. Instead, study what these people do differently, their daily habits, their decision making, their everyday systems. If somebody's ahead of you, they're not ahead by magic. And as much as we like to think that these people just got lucky, more often than not, they didn't. They were just using the right methods. So study them, Learn how they work, learn the systems they work in, and learn how you can apply that to your own life and focus on that instead of comparing yourself to them. Step 4. Compare your current self to your past self. The only comparison that is ever going to be fair is you versus you. So stop competing with others and start competing with yourself and track it. Here's the system: write down 3 things every day that you did better than you did yesterday. A habit you kept, a boundary you held, a task you didn't procrastinate on. Put it down, because this is the only way that you can turn the "be better than you were yesterday" from an aesthetic quote into a measurable everyday habit. Step 5: build a self love habit. Because you can block everybody and follow all the other steps, but if you don't feel deep down that you are enough, you're never going to be able to use comparison for something that is actually going to build you. So here's the system that has worked for me. Every night, I write down 5 things that I love about myself and I say them out loud, preferably in front of a mirror. And at first, this is gonna feel weird and it's gonna feel really cringe. And when I started, I remember that I could think of a million things that I didn't like about myself, but I could not think of a single one that I actually liked. So, if you're also having trouble with this, try to think about what others have said that they like about you and work with that so that it becomes a little bit easier, because it is hard, but it is most absolutely worth it, because this can help so much with stopping the comparison spirals. And while external wins and validations can motivate you for some time, they can never actually fill that gap that's inside you. Only self-love can. Let's recap so I can make sure that what's really important actually sticks. Comparison isn't going anywhere, it's wired into your brain, so your job isn't to kill it, but to repurpose it. Mute the noise, run the swap test, study strategy, not the highlight reel, check your progress daily, and build a self love habit that will finally end the cycle. So you can turn comparison from something negative that steals your motivation and happiness into something that will make you a better person every single day. If this helped you in any way to your self improvement journey, please give it a like so that it can find somebody else on their journey and help them. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!